Last time in Metal Wolf Chaos, I was able to easily find all of the POW camps, like that one for example. It was sitting there basically in plain sight. You'd have to be completely blind to miss something like that. Also, I had an excellent strategy for fighting the boss. Just shoot down the missiles early, wait for it to charge up its laser, and then take that opportunity to hit it with pretty much everything. Yeah, if your aiming is good and you're reasonably close, you'll just hit it with all your weapons at once, and that's that, basically. Yeah, no trouble whatsoever.
Enemy forces in San Francisco have been annihilated. Nice work, Mr. President.
Well, don't mind the screen that said I only rescued 3 prisoners of war. That's obviously a glitch. But I played so well that I got, apparently double money from this level. Funny that. So, let's use this for some research. I mentioned before that I wanted to get myself some new weapons, or in particular one new weapon. I'm going to use more than one new weapon, but one is going to be made myself. That makes it special.
They're no threat to your mobile armor. The verticals in this battle theater are violent. Consider the advantages and disadvantages in the geographical features.
Violent verticals. I'll have to keep that in mind.
This mission goes by the call name Bring Fashion Back to the Streets. Good luck and
I couldn't have named it better myself. We're going to Beverly Hills, everyone. There are actually some verticals we have to look out for, but mostly it's a wide, flat mission area. Well, the main thing that we want for the bazooka line is the M2. I should have made one right then and there, but hey, I have money to burn. I can invest in a few other things. The early machine guns are not great. They're pretty weak submachine gun things. Not good for much beyond shooting down missiles, and we just picked up a gun that's specialized towards that, so we don't need to make much of anything along that line right now. Now, railguns. Railguns are one of those weapons that look really cool once you've developed a couple of them, but they're kind of awful. Nonetheless, I'll show you the specifics. Flamethrowers are also not great. I will show you the strengths and weaknesses of those things shortly. Generally, if you want to play through everything really fast and not waste money on useless stuff, just upgrade machine guns and bazookas and that'll cover just about everything. I believe there are some decent shotguns later on, though. Well, we'll find out as I explore the technology lines. Well, that just about covers all of the development that I can do, and there's just one problem. I have the rare metals to make this bazooka, but I may be happened to overspend just a little bit. Oh well. I'll take a quick trip back to that White House tutorial mission and pick up the spare change that I need to construct that weapon. Alright, done. Much better. You've noticed that, or maybe you didn't, in that case I'll tell you, the technology line usually goes, you develop a new kind of weapon, and then further research unlocks variants of that weapon for at least a little while, until it moves up a full tier. This can actually be pretty useful. For example, for several kinds of weapon, you can unlock an energy weapon variant. These tend to have more ammo than their same tier equivalents, and also they deal energy damage, which many enemies have less resistance to. The downside and we're going to see this in the next mission, is that energy weapons consume your boost power when used, so they will limit your mobility. Well, we don't really need this grenade launcher anymore, so we're going to equip that new bazooka. If we were going to be very serious about this, we might grind just a little more money and make 2 bazookas. You can carry weapon duplicates if you want. You can fire 2 at once and also have 2 ammo reserves of it if it's a good weapon, so that's not bad. The multi-missile launcher is still really good in this next mission, but as I promised, we're going to show off different stuff. So this time, it's a flamethrower. The flamethrower is always an energy weapon, and it also happens to count as a light armament, which is going to lead to some fun stuff in the near future.
Enemy explosive devices are planted all over the city of Beverly Hills. Destroy all the bombs and liberate the town.
Now, just to clarify this,
Roger that.
we are not destroying these bombs in a way that causes them to not blow up the way they are designed to.
Terrorist Metawolf, as seen from the air. Just what will become of Beverly Hills and its stately mansions where the streets smell of money?
Oh,
Stay tuned, as
this guy is always fun.
bring you all the news you want to know.
We've seen DNN already, but now we're gonna get live coverage during the
It's a
mission.
bit annoying, but not enough to call for aspirin.
Indeed.
Bombs have been laid out
In
all
fact,
over
the
town.
news
Clean up the
copter
bombs while
is
destroying the radar
an object
gas station.
in-game. Right there. But we don't have time to play around with that just yet.
Some scientists were among the POWs.
And now we have the bonus for turning around and walking backwards right at the start of the level. I love those.
That's a
So,
radar
let's talk
gas
about the
station.
flamethrower.
Destroy it.
Well,
The bombs
okay.
will surely show up on radar.
Flamethrower. It takes up 2 weapon slots, which automatically makes it kind of bad. It does have a good starting reserve of ammo, and it does deal pretty good damage against anything that's not very resistant to light arms. Unfortunately, some of the biggest, most important targets in this game tend to
Metawolf
be...
is taking aim at me.
I sure am. That helicopter is amazingly tough. I don't want to waste time and ammo taking it down at this point. Maybe in some later mission. Anyway, against things like mission targets, bosses, and heavier enemies, the flamethrower is not great,
The National Guard
and
troops have been defeated.
well,
Metawolf is
that kind
annihilating
of
the
makes
troops
it
and
impractical
plans to
as a
capture
weapon.
Beverly Hills. His end game
Oh.
must be money. This could be the world's biggest heist.
Finally, the bombs
Money
have
actually
shown up
is
on
kind of
radar,
involved
but not
here.
well enough for all the bombs in
Well.
town to show up.
So yes, the general flow of this mission is clear out those radar jamming tiles, and then towers, and then find bombs in the minimap and destroy them. Now we don't destroy them by disarming them or destroying the part that allows them to detonate. No. We're doing this the America way. We're gonna destroy them by
Mr. President,
just blowing
that's
them
a
up.
bomb. If approached carelessly,
Oh.
it will detonate. Destroy it from a safe distance.
So let me give you an example of just how little the game cares about how we deal with these bombs after we deal with this armored personnel carrier. The flamethrower is actually very good against those. They're a little awkward to deal with otherwise. They take several bazooka hits and you can't stomp them to death, really. So, it's a bomb! Yeah, so if you trigger it and then run away, that is a perfectly acceptable way to disarm the bomb threat. Well, that says just about everything I would think we need to say about the nature of the missions we have here.
Oh, this looks promising. The pride of the U.S. military. Blackhawks raise their ugly heads.
This is the big reason to get the new kind of bazooka. With the old bazooka, those things are very annoying. what I'm doing right now with a combination of the Interceptor machine gun and the M2, it works pretty well. The Interceptor will stop the Black Hawk missiles, and the M2 will one-shot the helicopters. Provided, of course, that they don't miss or bump into enemy missiles along the way. Picking up an offense augment will increase reliability here. Now this is actually kind of a nice angle of attack against this target area. Ideally, I would shoot at the missile tower first, but no real harm done. Ooh, nice jump. So switching weapons in this game is kind of awkward. You press the B button, which opens up your weapons, and then you press the trigger that would normally fire the weapon to your left or right side to switch them out. And that means you can't fire normally while you're in weapon select mode. So aside from doing more damage, the M2 bazooka shells travel quite a bit faster than your starting bazooka. And yes, that is a truck driving the bomb right at me. If you destroy it with light arms, it'll detonate right on the spot, but if you shoot it with something heavy, it'll do that little jump right into the air, giving you time to boost away. And those trucks are the main reason it's worth your time to destroy the radar stations if you happen to find them. Because otherwise, you cannot see them in your mini-map and you can be taken off guard. Unfortunately, my aim on this... Well, I'm usually more of a mouse and keyboard kind of guy, so aiming with analog sticks is something I still haven't gotten used to exactly. Now this causes... No, I take that back. Those barracks that constantly produce soldiers, they can sometimes cause problems for me because depending on where you're shooting, the soldiers can just keep constantly running out of there and blocking your fire. I believe, yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. It would be better for me to... Yep, there it goes again. It would be better for me to just walk around to the side and deal with it that way. Would save ammo. Although...
does Metal Wolf have with a $3.2 billion man? Maybe he's going to take out a loan. Oh man, he's destroying...
I mean, money is a little bit tight in this game. I technically didn't actually enter into any mansions or other houses here, so it wouldn't be breaking entering. That is accurate, however. Oh, put a sock in it, right. Well, now that part is cleared out, we want to deal with these hostage trucks using the sniper rifle because you can see what's right next to it. Those bombs will destroy any kind of POW holding vehicles or camps, so when you see those things, you want to just shoot them as soon as you can hit them with anything. Getting closer, of course, well, there's no way to save him once that happens. And now we're going to... We've already gone around and... Kaboom! This is the target area that we dealt with a short time ago from below, which is why we only had the one thing shooting us at a time, and aside from being a mission objective, it's important to grab the energy pod. More max health. Good. Well, it's also very hard to run out of ammo on this map. As you can see, I've been mostly relying on 2 weapons out of my 8, but over the course of this map, my ammo is just going to increase because of just so many ammo drops. And now,
Didn't I just say, if approached carelessly, it will detonate? Don't be so lax.
Probably should have not gone for the weapon pickup. Just triggered the bomb, turned around 180 degrees and run. Would have prevented taking a block of damage right there. However, this game does provide a decent number of shield modules, so it's not really a big deal if you don't avoid 1 or 2 bombs. In fact, because shooting those bombs with weapons triggers them immediately, in a lot of cases it's safer to just walk up and let the proximity detector go off and then run off. That's not the case with the truck bombs, though. They will just explode immediately. You need to shoot them. Preferably with a bazooka. The M2 is just great in this mission. And, well, the multi-missile launcher would also be great if I bothered to bring it along. And, yep. One of the giveaways for those trucks is that they make a distinctive noise. And that kind of... well, it got my attention, alright. By the way, that interceptor submachine gun is extremely weak. If I didn't get one for free, there's no way I would build that myself, because it doesn't even kill infantry in one hit. And my starting weapons were able to do that. Kaboom! Alright, well, we just happened to wander into this target area, so we might as well deal with that. By the way, you notice I haven't been using my burst attack at all. I should... oh, wow. That was close. That's the effect of not having radar that I told you about. Although I probably should have heard the noise sooner. Anyway, I noticed that the burst mode is actually pretty quick to charge, and I could have used it probably 2 or 3 times already if I was paying attention. Oh well. That'll be a lesson for future missions. Because I've already demonstrated how much damage that thing does.
Support our troops with all your hearts.
Don't worry about his yammering commentary.
By the way, don't mess with your bazookas, because there's a couple of prisoner trucks right here.
POWs you rescued. I wonder if the vice president wants to go as far as to control the music in America.
If I was going to be optimal about this, I would not bring a flamethrower, even though it's good against those APCs, because the APCs are not that big a deal, and the multi-missile launcher is great for some of the tougher things around here. There are later flamethrowers that have better range. I don't know if that makes them worth using, but I'll see if I can figure something out. It does count as energy, so there may be a couple of maps where it would be ideal. Well, this map is, as I said, very wide, and there are a lot of hidden things around it, so I skipped a little bit of backtracking. This is one of those things that it's very easy to miss. That's a prisoner of war camp right up there, and this is a lesson in... those things are not pickups. If you can see them, you can collect them. You don't actually have to be able to jump up to where they are. And this one is especially diabolical because there's a tree blocking your view of it. So if you don't cause collateral damage all over the place, which honestly, that's kind of a weird way to play. This game is all about collateral damage. But if you're weird like me and don't destroy absolutely everything, you might not see that thing. It's actually one of the best hidden prisoner of war or just prison camps in the game, I think. Well, I'm fairly certain that switching weapons was made kind of awkward on purpose, so that you couldn't just very quickly switch to an interceptor weapon every time a missile is fired, among other things. Plus, I know they love that animation of all the weapons coming out of those backpacks at once in a physics-defying way. Yeah, this would have been a great place to use burst mode, because these particular installations take a lot of damage before they go down. And by the way, she said they're strong against live ammunition, but no, that does not mean they're weak against melee or anything. Yep. Now, you still deal damage if your stomp bounces off an enemy, but the animation is so long that it's usually not worth doing that. By the way, you can technically unlock energy weapons before entering the second mission, which is why you get energy weapon ammo pickups so early. And that's that for almost everything around here. But there's still a little bit of exploring to do. Because that place we were kind of approaching was more or less the last part of the map. I'd like to take care of everything else first. Fortunately, it's not a long walk. So what happened there? As best I can tell, what happened was that a bomb truck approached me from behind, and I just did not hear it. Oh no, that sounds like prison camp alarm. Oh wait, no, it was not. It was not one of those. I was thinking, oh boy, I better free them before the place explodes. Well, it was an exploding thing, all right, just not the particular kind I thought it was. Well, so I wanted to double back and make sure that I didn't miss anything, because there are two weapon pickups here that are pretty easy to miss. Fortunately, I did catch them. Well, I may or may not have had a map of this level and the pickup locations on a laptop while playing this. There's actually kind of a lot to remember about these maps. And of course they don't really get... Well, okay, a couple of them get simpler as we go along. Most of them are not quite this wide open. Yeah, the very large towers are pretty generous about the rush bonus. Right, very important to be careful with what I'm... Yeah, Flamethrower frees the prisoners just fine from those camps. No harm whatsoever. It counts as a light armament. I mean... If shooting into those things with machine guns didn't bother you, then I don't see why a Flamethrower would. Anyway, secret passage. Hooray. If you just rely on the mini-map, what I'm going through would look like solid walls, so good luck with that. Well, going back over to the other side, it's important to check side passages. And that's because of stuff like this. So I should kind of explain what the hostages do here. The normal citizens increase the money that you get from the this part of the map. The scientists increase the amount of rare metals you get for clearing this particular part of the map. And the musicians unlock soundtracks to be used in the sound test. I believe that rescuing all of the hostages all over the map also unlocks certain things. I mean, all the hostages in the game. By the way, the game still counts damage that doesn't break one of your shields as part of your penalty against damage taken at the end of the level. So if you want an S rank, you just have to not get hit by things. Even chip damage has to be avoided. Now, you have to be careful about where you're aiming here, because there is a prisoner camp sort of to the right as you walk in, and there are bombs in that direction as well. But firing this away is perfectly okay, and it is well worth a burst to get rid of a couple of those towers quickly. Especially when you're carrying things like shotguns and flamethrowers, the burst attack is best used at melee range, basically. Now, because this situation is a little delicate, I'm kind of taking my time, but that's going to change once I spot that camp to the right and snipe it down. Yeah, the sniper rifle is probably at its most useful for situations like that. I don't think I'd be able to break all of the camp or break all of the prisons without it, but it's not necessary for every map. And I'm gonna be glad to have that space freed up too. You see, I charged another one of those pretty much immediately. We have to blow it up to stop it from destroying the city. Okay.
Is too dangerous. Our news team is seeking refuge, but our coverage of these events will continue, because yes, the pen is still mightier than the sword. This has been Peter McDonald for DNN.
I'm sure those wealthy fat cats will repair the damage, making their homes even more beautiful than before. Nice work, Mr. President.
I mean, we caused less property damage than I expected. But all those bullets and bazooka shells that we fired and missed didn't... Well, okay, in-game they disappeared, but I'm sure they hit something eventually. Well, we picked up everything this time. Good stuff. And we got a whole lot of money. This is a great level to farm for money early on, and I'm going to do that a bit because I have a lot of weapons to unlock. Of course, it won multiple Oscars. How come
Yesterday's email.
every time a game says that a movie was made about it, the movie wins every award?
Let me hear it. I am the one who formed the resistance to put a stop to Richard Hawke and his recklessness. Right now, I'm
That's a good guy voice.
and seek volunteers. Metal Wolf, we eagerly await your rampage.
Great. They haven't sold out Hope yet.
Mr. President, I haven't been this happy since that
Oh boy.
going out of business sale when I was searching for my favorite candy and I found the last box all covered in dust at the back of the rack. And the expiration date was still good.
Yum.
I know the feeling, Jody.
That
Put me on the next battlefield.
he knows to get that exact feeling. Yeah.
Sure,
That-
Mr. President.
That's the highlight of your entire week, that. Oh boy, I love dust-covered boxes of candy. Well, I believe that just about covers it for this mission. Next time we're going to visit Alcatraz. I bet they won't be able to spin a battle there against us. No, sir. Well, see you later.